morning. Why? Explain. Oh, shit. Explain to me like I'm a 2-year-old. Why is it that people that want to call off of work decide to do it at 6 a.m.? The other thing is I had a really amazing OBE the other day. I did not see Jeff, no, but I did see creatures, people, what do you want to call them? They didn't look like you and I, but I did think, okay, so let me explain. So there's this new, well, not new, throw the right words at you. Okay, so there's this way that you can breathe that's supposed to hypnotize you, okay? Or not hypnotize, like make you, all right, let's start over. So, there's this way that you can breathe, and everything is the breath, you know? There's this way you can breathe that kind of like, they say it can cause hallucinations or this, that, or it can get you into travel really quickly. And I do one way to get into travel, but I had never tried this other way, okay? And I watched a video about it, and I was like, that's really, really different. Let me try it. And what you do is you breathe in to your belly like, you go, wait, that looks so weird. You go like this, you go, no, did it wrong. You go, and you do this for like minutes at a time, which is not easy. Your fingers will curl and like your face gets really tight. All your muscles, just thinking about it made my stomach muscles tight. Like your body tightens up. But during it, you're supposed to like think about all your different chakras. You can even put your hands like at your base, your sacral, all that, all the way up. So, and when you get to your crown chakra, well, your third eye and your crown, that's when you can like hallucinate or like it really kind of draws you in. But instead, what I did was I put on Gateway, the binaural beats, and the hemi-sync from Monroe Institute. And instead of doing the breathing like they were telling me to do, I did that breathing. And oh my God, it was like I was shot through a cannon. Like that fast, I was out of body and in front of a bunch of other beings. Like, and it felt like I was doing it with other beings. Like when I was doing it, when I was doing the breath, and I was listening, I had headphones on, so I was listening to hold on. Okay, I was listening to the hemi-sync. Like right when I started, I could feel my body want to turn, like almost instantly. And so I probably did it for about, I would say 3 to 5 minutes before I like completely snapped over. Now normally I go over kind of softly, and once in a while I snap over, and this was a snap over. So I snap over and I'm laying on the ground. I was laying on my bed, but when I snapped over I just like came to and I'm on the ground, and there's other people on the ground doing the same breath. I'm not the only one doing it. And I was like, oh shit, like I somehow came into a pocket of like whatever it was, it drew me in with everyone else. Do you know what I mean? And when I looked around, there was beings there. It wasn't just human beings. There were other beings there. And I just like looked on both sides like, I'm not in Kansas anymore. And so I kept up the breathing with them because they were all doing it too. So I was doing it with them. And I did not stare at the other beings that were different than me. But I'll tell you this. One of them was... want to say like a dog person, but there was no like fur, but their face came out like really far, like this, like a muzzle instead of like, which was like, wow, that was crazy looking. And it was a he, and he was like right next to me, like not next to me, but like, okay, so it almost felt like we were in some sort of circle, because I never got out of that configuration. I laid there and just was doing something together. So, but I'll explain that in a minute. But it almost felt like we were in a certain position. It felt like there was like, we were there in a position on purpose, like somebody wanted us in the forms that we took. And so, I opened my eyes real quickly. I like glanced around. The guy to this side was the guy that was like the dog. I don't want to say dog person. That's not real. He just had an elongated face, like out here. And and then there was a guy made of light, which I don't know if he was a guy or girl, just a person made of light, or like the body of a person made of light. And underneath, they were underneath like white kind of tunic looking things. And when I looked down, I was underneath the same tunic looking things. So many times it's hard for me to wrap my head around what I look like there. Like, do I look to them as strange sometimes as they look to me? Like, I don't know, because nobody looks at me and goes like, oh, I've never done that to anybody either. I've been afraid a couple times where I was like, is this okay? And then very quickly realized, yes, it's okay. So anyway, as we're all lying in these positions that I realize are like set positions, and that I knew this somehow. That was another thing. Like somehow I knew it was a set position. I knew that I was supposed to be in that position, like in that group. I closed my eyes very quickly and went back to the breathing, and realized that there was a thought running through the group, like a single thought. And that thought was like this universal, tapping into universal like healing or love, this all-encompassing feeling. And when I realized that this was like a group thought, that we were all thinking the same thing, that we were all on this same string, and that what we were doing, what we were physically doing, was creating this message that was going out somewhere into the heavens of love and strength and healing, more than anything, like healing. And I don't mean like somebody has a cut healing. I mean like this healing of like of some sort of like tether. Okay, so once I laid back and envisioned why I was there, like I didn't know, you know, when I first awoke to myself, I was just like, why am I like in this, where are these people from, what am I doing? Once I realized we're like kind of supposed to, and I don't know who gave me the message to just keep going, but once I realized that and kept going, it felt like we all had some sort of umbilical cord or tether. Tether's a better word, like a white tether that was connected to me, connected to all of them in this circle or group. And that as it went up above us, and we were laying on the ground, like there was no grass, but it was like dirt, you know, it was just like the ground. And as these tethers went up to the place you couldn't see them, this was like, it's like when you think of your third eye or your crown chakra, you can't see them, you're not looking at them, you like open up that third eye to see them at that point. So as I was doing that, it was like all the tethers from us were coming up in this big like maypole kind of thing, and then they would spin around each other and go up into the night sky, I guess, I don't know, into the whatever. I couldn't see stars or the heavens. It really wasn't night either. It was almost like a dusky look because it was like gray. Okay, and so we were just continuing, and once I realized what we were doing, it became more and more and more intense, that we were like taking our energy and combining it into this one amazing, beautiful thought, and I felt like it was going somewhere, but I didn't know where, like that somebody was getting the benefit of what we were doing. So I don't know, I need to go back to the video and like listen to what this certain breath is, because you know, in like Kundalini yoga, there's like the breath of fire and the breath of there's some specific breath this is called. I just don't know what it is because I don't do yoga or any of that stuff. I just decided to try it because I watched a video about it, which is how I get myself into all this trouble. Anyway, but it almost felt like there was like that I was helping the group fight something, and I don't know what it was fighting, but it was like it was trying to be bigger than its negative. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if we were love and healing and grace and goodness, you know, it was trying to overcome the negative side of that, like the negative, the opposite of that. And we were just sending it out there, I guess, for whoever. I don't have a person or a thing in mind, just sending it out there, this healing kind of. It was really awesome. And so I laid there and did it, and I could feel my body tensing up because it's very hard to continue doing it for a while. And every once in a while, somebody else would like take a break. I could hear them like go, and just not pick it right back up. But you could hear us all doing it, and it was making almost like a chorus. Oh, these allergies are killing me. It was making like a chorus together. It was like, it sounded like, but when all these people are doing it, it almost sounds like an engine, like the engine of life or something. It was like really awesome. And I think I passed out. I think that I got to a point where I almost like hyperventilated or something, because it was like all of a sudden I was fading away from it, and then all of a sudden I was like fading away from it, and then it kind of winked out and was gone. And also there were okay, so during this time there was like this tall woman who at one point I felt her like walking by me, and I like opened my eyes and looked up, and she was like in the white short like this toga thing, and when I looked up and saw her, she like just like glanced down at me like that, and I closed my eyes real fast, like, I'm not looking. I have no idea why. I just felt like that's what I was supposed to do. And here's another thing, I could smell the ocean. How crazy is that? Like, I could smell salt water, and I could like kind of hear it almost, the ocean like far away, but I could smell it. It was just, it smells just like when you're driving into the Jersey Shore. That's what it smelled like that salt water and life and carbon and all that you smell while driving into the shore. That's what I smelled. So it was really neat. I'm going to try to do it again and see if I can maybe get more information this time. I just kind of went along, which I do a lot on this. Like, if I find myself in a strange situation when I'm traveling, I just go with it. I just am like, okay, let's see what's going to happen next. Like, I don't really, the cool thing is although there's sometimes like anxiety there, like I can say that I've been like, oh, you know, at something that I see or something that I hear, that for the moment there's not a lot of fear. Like, the fear came for me when I had the bad experiences, but the truth is, like, everything, even when I was in the little space prison or whatever the fuck that was, even then, I wasn't like deathly afraid. You know, so you can go with it. You can, hold on. You can go with it. You can, like, you feel, once you're comfortable with being over there, wherever there is, or the many theirs, you can go with it. You can feel like this, that it's okay, that you're not doing anything that is going to, like, harm you. You kind of feel that way. Now, I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but that's how you feel. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm okay. So, as long as you go, and I know Monroe Institute has a saying that they say prior to going that, you know, about that, to kind of protect you. I have my own little thing that I do to, like, protect me, that I don't, that to make sure that, you know, I'm coming in peace and love, that I don't want to encounter anybody that could be harmful to me. And, you know, I put up this kind of white light around me to protect myself before I go, a lot. And sometimes I don't, when I find myself just jumping over, like, on my way to sleep, which has happened many times. You know, I don't have the time or the forethought to do it. So you try your best to protect yourself, because you don't want anything to happen, but, you know, I guess it's a chance you take. But I never really feel like I'm, like, about to have something happen, other than, like I said, the few times that I maybe didn't understand what was happening, or that I felt like a malevolent being, which, you know, like I said, I came back from them anyway, so who knows. But anyway, that's what happened. I have other thoughts on this. I have other thoughts about it too, about, like, what is a collective conscience, and what that might mean, as, like, when people say, like, I need everybody to pray for one person. I feel like that's what I was experiencing, not prayer, but, like, the group of the same ilk, like, coming together and wrapping their tethers around one another to build that strength, to make it bigger than what it would be with one. And that was pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm at work. I gotta go. Love you. Bye.